Welcome back. This is Lidia with Livin Latina, and I am so excited today to be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Yes, I know it's from September 15th to October 15th, but your girl is so Hispanic that I'm gonna extend it. I've been doing some traveling, I've been kind of MIA, I've taken some time, very personal time to be with my grandfather who was visiting and my son. And I know you've all heard a little bit about it. I've tried to stay in contact with you guys even though I've been absent on the live side, but we're extended Hispanic Heritage Month, and I want to be featuring more Latinos and more companies, more products that I feel proud of, and I feel proud to be part of my heritage. So come on in, join us, and thank you again for watching us. So today I have Maricia here with me, and she is part of the Alma publication. So I'm really excited to have you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with you and just tell you a little bit more about our company.
I'm excited. But all of my guests, just to kind of get the nerves out of the way and get the ball rolling. And today, since we are talking with you as a publisher, I wanted to know, out of all the books that you've read, which one had like the biggest impact or inspired you the most?
Well, I'm an avid book reader. Ever since I was a little girl, I've loved books. Hence, what I'm doing now.
Yes.
But actually, it wasn't until in college, and I was taking an advanced Spanish level class in college, that it wasn't required, but I just challenged myself. I wanted to be able to read a novel in Spanish.
Oh.
And so my favorite book was La Casa de los Espíritus by Isabel Allende. That's a classic story. It was very challenging at first because my fluency in reading in Spanish of course, it was not the same as my English fluency. Being that I was exposed to an all-English curriculum.
I was gonna say
on.
It's very different to speak it than to like read it or write it.
Yes, exactly. So for me, I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to, further enrich my learning.
Yes.
And then I loved it. I mean, it was beautiful. Her writing is awesome, and it really, really touched me.
Aw, I love that. And I think for me, because on the way over here I was thinking about it, I always have an answer ready for the icebreakers in case our guests are like, what about you? And I was telling my sister, who does a lot of the back end production assisting stuff, she was like, what about you? And I was like, you know what? I want to say my answer because it has to do with my roots and me being an immigrant and my parents being immigrants. Mm-hmm. It's actually the Diary of Anne Frank. And it was so inspiring, and it touched me so much, not necessarily because, yes, we all know the story. It was definitely very rough to read in elementary and middle school, even in high school when we had to do it, and to be put in a situation like that at such a young child. But as like mean and as like dark as this sound, it made me feel like my life wasn't as bad as somebody else. Because growing up as an immigrant and always having to hide behind the shadows and like making sure your English wasn't too broken and people, were gonna start to ask questions, mm-hmm. I always felt like an outsider. So the Diary of Anne Frank to me was that. It was like a bit of recognition that there is a lot of like differences out there. There are people fighting because they are different, and there are millions of people dying daily because of it. So for me, it was a little bit of like in my life to say it's not as bad mm-hmm. as it could be. So for me it was that one. But let's move right along before we start crying, because this makeup is hard to get on. But as always, thank you for watching. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're hearing, give us that thumbs up, give us that share. We always appreciate all your support. We're gonna continue with some of the giveaways. So stay tuned, and I'm gonna be announcing our next big giveaway. It's a good one. It's a good one. But let's get started with you, Maricia. So tell us a little bit about Del Alma Publications. What is it? What do you focus on, and how did you guys get started?
Okay, well, we are a 100% Latina-owned business. We are a team of Latinas who, well, the reason for starting it was our CEO, Dr. Maricia Gonzalez Perez. She was a bilingual education professor for many years in the Valley, and she was in charge of student teachers that were studying to become bilingual education teachers, and noticed the lack of bilingual books in the classrooms, in the elementaries in the Valley, and how it was, hard to find books that were culturally relevant, that children could see themselves in the literature. And that was kind of the reason for starting the company, was because we felt like we needed more books that represented the children, the Hispanic children living in the U.S. Because there are books written in Spanish, but they're written in other countries, and sometimes there is a little bit of a disconnect there. So we wanted to portray our culture, especially here, as Hispanics in the U.S.
That's very, very cool. So you say that there's like a team of you. How many in total are there?
We're a team of 4. We have Teresa Estrada. She's in charge of the book design and the book production process. She puts them together for us, and without her, I mean, she's definitely very vital to our company. There's also myself, Maricia Rodriguez, and I am also in charge of marketing, as well as distribution, and I also help with book editing and the design aspects, the appearance of the books.
Multi-talented, by the way.
Yes, you actually learn a lot. With starting your own business, you have to learn how to do so many things. And then, of course, social media.
Yes.
That would be me as well,
yes.
under the marketing wing. And then, of course, we have our CEO, Dr. Maricia Gonzalez Perez, and she's the founder of the company and also the author of some of the books that I will show you here. Of course, we will be featuring more authors as we go as well, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in the end of the show. And then also we have one more, Anita Perez Garza, and she's our legal consultant. And so, there are copyright issues and technical issues, and so she helps us with permitting and so on, make sure that we're okay.
All around.
Regulatory.
Yes, that is so cool. So how did you all get to meet each other? Was it like...
we're a family.
Really? Very cool.
Yes, we're sisters and my mother. So we've known each other forever.
Yeah, when did you meet? That is so cool. I didn't know you were all related. I've seen some pictures of you guys on your website.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was like a family affair.
Yeah,
that
so
makes it so much more beautiful.
Yeah, it's a family. It's a family-owned business, and we work well together and support each other. When it all happened in one of our get-togethers, one Thanksgiving after dinner, we had
That's
our
when
first
the best
meeting.
stuff comes about. When there's food around, best ideas
right
come out of it.
Right after our turkey,
Tamales.
had a big sit down.
And the idea came about. So when was this? When was the Alma actually created?
That was in 2007, way back when, but we didn't officially start until that we incorporated was 2008, but yet it was several years and several babies later that we first produced our first book. It was a learning curve because there's a lot of technical issues there you have to learn as you go. But we started in November 2015 with our first book. This is our Spanish poetry book, Cantos del Alma y del Corazón. And this book is very, very special to us. Like I said, we released it in November 2015, but it took us about almost 2 years to write this first book.
Oh, wow.
There was changes, there was additions, and it's also illustrated photography. So there's 50 photos in this book, and the photography also took time as well. So,
that is so cool. So I see it says Cantos del Alma, and is it cantos as in poetry or cantos as in like, I know some churches like religious cantos? Is it coritos or is it
poetry?
Poetry.
Yeah, there's all types of poems in there. There's 5 different sections. It's poems about al amor, a la familia, a la despedida final. There's some poems, that deal with death and so forth.
Un ángel para siempre. That's the one I opened up to. Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yes, it's a very special book to us because, like I said, it was a learning curve at first, but we are very, very proud it came out just like we wanted it. So.
It's beautiful too. Like the pictures inside, I don't want to show them all because you should go get it. But the photography is beautiful inside too.
Yeah, a lot of the photos in the book, not all, but most of the book photos were taken in South Texas, where we're from.
Very cool. So it was started in South Texas.
Yes.
So it says Doctora Maria Alma Gonzalez. Is that your mom?
Yes.
Yes. Aww. That is so
some of those
cool.
poems she wrote since like the 80s. Wow. It's been a while.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Right.
So see, another great thing to come out of South Texas besides Selena, of course. That's amazing. So how did you transition from South Texas to now? You say you're out of Katy?
Yes. Well, I left Zapata, Zapata, Texas. That's where we're from. When I went to college, when I attended Texas A&M University.
Texas A&M.
So I moved to College Station, and then many jobs, and then there was a job opening here, so I moved to Houston. But actually that was my prior life. I was an environmental scientist actually. So there's plenty of work for environmental scientists here in Houston. Yes. And so I was in consulting for many years, and then this opportunity came out, and and I just stayed here ever since.
Very cool. Yeah, Houston has a hold on people.
Oh, I love Houston. It's like I've been here for, I don't want to say like 15 years, maybe more. I'm not sure. But I love Houston. It has so much here. So much culture.
It's amazing. Going back to A&M, my comadre, actually, the godmom to our son, went to A&M.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so when you said that, I'm like, I feel a sense of pride. I didn't go there, but I'm proud of like her being there. Mm-hmm. And it's a difficult school to come out of.
Yeah.
So, kudos to you.
It was a culture shock, to put it mildly.
Yes.
Very, very different from what we're used to in the border. But I wanted to challenge myself. I felt like it was un reto que tenía que tomar, and came out of that just fine.
That's amazing. So it's your mother, it's your sisters, and you go and you have this beautiful feast and get this created. This is your first book. Where does it go after that? Do you publish just works that you and your family create, or do you publish for other people as well?
Well, that's our goal. We started this company to promote, obviously Latino and Latinas. We want our culture positively portrayed in literature, because children, this is our future. Absolutely. And we want them, to feel proud and empowered, and we want them to see themselves in the literature, which, actually it's, there's a very, very big, and this has been going on for many years. There's a very big lack of diversity in children's book publishing. Every year they come out with a report, and it hasn't really changed the percentages. It's a very, very small percentage of books that are written by people of color. Yes. Not just Hispanic, but in general, people of color, including all the other ethnicities. And so, but yeah, we started with the book ideas that we had, that she had, started with, and we have like 10 other stories yet to publish. We've got in the hopper, but yeah, we are definitely accepting submissions, from prospective authors, aspiring authors that are interested.
To hit you up actually. After this.
Well, we just say though that it has to be that meets our criteria. Yes. Because what we're looking for is stories that depict, our bicultural, bilingual identity. Yes. So stories for children, of course, children and young adults up to high school, teenage level.
That was going to be my next question. Do you only do kids books? Is that what you're focusing on?
We have there's several genres we're focusing on. Obviously, we Spanish poetry, we've done that, and we want to, obviously we love poetry, so any other poetry as well, bilingual or in Spanish or English that has the Latino
flair.
poetry, then of course children's nonfiction and fiction, fiction storybooks. So obviously we're still looking for illustrators.
Yes.
Definitely need a lot more illustrated picture books, and then storybooks for the middle grade, 4th, 5th age level, and then the young adult. And then we are starting another genre we don't have right now, but we have some projects in the works that are history of Mexican American history. As you know, that Texas recently adopted the elective course for Mexican American Studies in the high school for social studies electives. So we definitely need more material. So kids in those classes can learn more, and their stories, our stories, of our Hispanic or Mexican American people living here in the U.S.
That's very, very cool.
So yeah, we're definitely looking for that as well.
Okay, amazing. So how can someone, like you said, an aspiring illustrator and an aspiring writer, how can they reach out to you?
Oh, we have they can just go to our website, www.thelalmapublications.com. Under contact us, there's my email, and basically just email.
Perfect.
And illustrators as well, they can email copies of some of their illustrations that represent their works.
That's amazing. So I just want to, as a side note, we're right in the heart of Houston. We're near downtown. So if you hear the hustle and bustle of the city never sleeps. There's a metro going by, there's some cars going by, so disregard that. But let's move right along. How long does it take for you whenever you start a book? How long does it normally take from beginning to end, from concept to out of the press?
Okay, usually, this is not including the time it takes to write the story. Okay. Once we have the story, obviously the story will go through an editing process. That's part of it. But usually about a year.
Oh wow. Okay.
A year and a half at most to produce a book. There sometimes there's definitely changes that may add a little bit more to it. But that's our goal, is usually about a year.
That's amazing. So from the time you started the first one, which is the Cantos del Alma, how long did it take for you to go back to creating your second one?
Oh, we've pretty much been producing a book a year. This year we probably be doing about 2. Our ultimate goal is to be producing about 3 or 4 books a year.
That's amazing.
Because all the projects are at different points in their life.
Yes.
But yeah, we're definitely trying to get them out there.
Stay busy.
But I will say, part of the reason we might take long is because we are very big on quality, and we want to make sure our book is of the best quality and the most correct, not a single error, grammatic error at all, or if, printing, the quality of the paper, all that stuff, all those details that you would not imagine go into it. We are very big on that. We want to make sure we produce the best work possible.
And it shows, I got to see some of their work online on their website whenever we started, talking about, you coming on and everything. But yeah, the pictures don't do it justice. The books are super beautiful. They grab your attention. They're visually stimulating, which I can definitely see would be great for that,
Kids.
school-age kids.
Yes.
And I see that a couple of these actually look similar. Like, is this part of maybe like a series?
Yeah.
Or how do these work?
Actually, let me say, this is a advanced reader copy. This is not the official one yet.
Okay.
This is our, you get the preview. This was our first nonfiction alphabet book called Todos a Comer. It's basically an alphabet book, and for every letter we have a food, a Mexican food that that we discuss, talk a little bit about it, ask a question, for feedback from the child, and it's in English and Spanish. And of course, we all love that. And the conchas. Yeah, and so that book was very, very well received. I'm just still amazed, like, how well it's been received. Actually, I'll just, on the side note about that book, we reached number 8 on Amazon's list of top books for children about the Mexican country.
That's
Mexico.
amazing.
About Mexico,
Kudos to you guys.
Yeah, so-
And I see on here it says International Latino Book Awards.
Yeah, we also won first place in the International Latino Book Awards for this book for the best Latino focused picture book.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's been a great. We've been so honored that people have really embraced it and loved it, and every time I meet someone that tells me, like yourself, about what they think about it, it just makes me feel good.
Oh, yes, I bet it
Makes me
does.
feel like we've done something positive.
Yes.
But we want to do 3 alphabet books. This is the second one, which is already off in the printer. It will be arriving here very soon, probably by December, but I'm officially not going to launch it until January. But yeah, this is going to be on Hispanic customs and traditions, and this would be a good unit for the teachers when they discuss different events like Hispanic Heritage Month or any holidays. And so that one was on foods, but now this one, the illustrations are of children. And so, for example,
cool.
this is a J and it represents the jarabe tapatio, the Mexican hat dance. And so it talks a little bit about what is that, and the kids in the traditional costumes. And so there's some children there, and then kermes, what is a kermes? Maybe they don't know actually.
Yeah.
But we know that in Mexico, what that is. And so yeah, the merienda, pan dulce. We do have food there again. But yeah, we talk about some of these little customs and traditions
cool.
that we have, and so we
feature
feature children, and some of the children featured there are from Houston actually.
Very cool.
So we will be planning a book launch very soon after we release it, probably near downtown, which is a central location for most, to honor these families that gave us permission to feature their children in this book.
This is amazing.
So
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's very beautifully shot. I love
I'll just tell you it was a challenge.
Yes,
Whenever with children, it can be a challenge. But we had some good participants, and we appreciate, like I said, the parents' help and cooperation with us.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So are some of these children, are some of these children family as well? Since you said
There's
it's
a
family
few.
affair?
Yeah, there's
Yes.
a few in there, and then there's again, some acquaintances that we know,
Very
just
cool.
different children. We all the pictures except for 2 we shot ourselves.
Very
So
cool.
we did the photography
Again,
ourselves.
multi-talented.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing this. So it's not officially launched, and we are getting like an advanced copy preview. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I
That's very,
appreciate
very
that.
cool.
Yes.
So are these, like you said, part of a series? How many more do you plan on doing?
We're
One
gonna
more?
do one more, and that's gonna get started next year.
Very cool.
And that one will be on the ranching heritage. As you know, and I'm excited about that book. It's gonna be our cowboy book.
Oh,
There's a lot of Spanish influence in the words that you use it, and when you talk about cowboys, you have to recognize vaqueros were the first cowboys, in this country. And we have a lot of words like lazo and corral, rodeo. Those are all Spanish words.
Yes.
So for every letter, we're gonna have something that relates to
Very cool.
that.
I'm excited for that. So for someone like me who has a child that's about to start the reading age, is your website a good place to go purchase these, or where can I buy these?
Yes, you can. All our books are available online, and as a caveat, when you order through our website, you will get an author signed copy. And I will note, we have them in paperback and are also printing the Todos a Comer, and then this next new book also in hardcover for libraries that need reinforced binding as well.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yes.
So that's amazing. Besides that 3rd installment of the book, is there any other projects that you're working on you want to tell us about?
Okay, yes, the next couple of projects, we have a few picture books, illustrated picture books coming up. There will be an environmental one, talk about recycling, with
I wonder where
science.
that one came from.
And then of course we have some children's story time, storybooks, for the 4th, 5th grade level. That is definitely an area that we are working on there, because you don't find that many books, that are in bilingual or in Spanish for that age level, at least, that are written by authors here in the U.S. So yeah, we're definitely moving up to, these are, early elementary, 1st, kinder, first, second, and then of course we're trying to address the third, fourth, fifth with the basically chapter books.
Yes.
Your chapter books. So they're story books. So those will be there, or hopefully come out next year.
That's amazing. And I see you brought some other books. Do you want to tell us anything about these other ones you brought?
Okay. This is just a little book, an extra project we did. When we did the Cantos del Alma book, we shot hundreds and thousands of photos just to get the illustrations for that book. So we already had a lot of photos shot around South Texas. So we're like, we already have the images. Well, let's just make a book, like a children's version, And so this is a book about Zapata, where we're from. And so it's been very well received by the community of Zapata. If you've never heard of where it is, Zapata is along the border, the Rio Grande Valley, just south of Laredo, between Laredo and Roma and Rio Grande City. So we are the home of the Falcon Lake. There's a very, very nice lake there where the fishing is great. And so obviously that's featured here, and this is like a book for the social studies curriculum. And so it has, some of the locations in town and a little bit of facts, and it's bilingual also.
Very cool.
And the reason we do bilingual is because we feel like, language should not be a struggle, it should be a choice. So if someone doesn't know one language, they can read it in the other language, simultaneous.
Absolutely.
Or if they're learning another language, they can quickly just refer to it, So that's the reason for the bilingual books, and actually, I always tell everybody, it's like you're getting two books in one.
Absolutely.
Because you've got the English and the Spanish in the same. And then of course, then we did an angel book. This is our one of our books that we released this year. This is an illustrated children's book, An Angel from Above, and this was a special nonprofit project we did this year for this girl from Zapata, she's from San Ignacio, which is a little community north of Zapata. It's basically inspired by her story. It talks about angels. It uses it does introduce the topic of death, through the angels as metaphors. So it's like a little story about a boy who's kind of taken too soon. There's this boy in the prime of his life and he's taken, but then a year later his sister arrives. It's kind of like a miracle, and so we use angels as metaphors, and it's a good book to talk to your kids, about the afterlife.
That's a difficult topic for children. Anybody that's had to have that conversation, it's like, where do you start?
So we feature angels in this book, so that you can kind of talk about such a difficult subject with children, and it just talks about, if you believe in angels, and there are many people who do, and so it's non-denominational or anything like that, but you can have conversations with your children about mortality and so on. And it actually, I don't have the copy with the seal. We did receive a dragonfly, a children's dragonfly award for this book as well, for most best Christian themed book.
Very cool.
As well. So we did get a
congratulations.
award for this book.
That's a big deal.
We just learned about that like a few months ago. But yeah, this is, like I said, our first illustrated book, and there will be more illustrated picture books in the works as well. And then I just brought this other book. This is a book that she did kind of a little bit before we started the company. This is basically it's honoring businesswomen. We're talking about businesses, Latino businesses, and business women. So my mother felt there was so many women in the community that had never been recognized, that had worked their whole lives and raised their children, and we wanted to honor them, and tell a little bit about their stories. So there's I think there's 50 women in this book, from Zapata County.
They're all from the community there?
Yeah. Wow. And so it has a little story about each of these women. And actually the very first one that we found was from, she had her business, a soap manufacturing business, Maricia Lagarza Falcon Ramirez, from 1825.
Wow.
And so we couldn't get a picture of her, but we have a picture of her ranch. And she was one of the very first settlers in this community. And she, her her husband passed away, and she managed to save her land, you know, from, you know, because of debts and so on. And so she got her family, pulled her family through all of this, and special circumstances, you know, the loss of 3 children, you know, so it talks about her achievements. She regained clear title of their property, which, you know, consisted of, you know, huge acres of land at the time, you know. But so yeah, we honor numerous women, and during March of this past year, I featured some of these women in our Facebook posts about their stories, just like a little synopsis of each of them.
I think this needs to make a comeback, because especially with the conversation that's been kind of around us lately, you know, with the Me Too movement and with the Si Se Puede and like women empowerment. This is the kind of stuff that our children need to be reading, and our young ladies need to be reading to get inspired. I had no idea, you know, this amount of women out of South Texas were our business owners.
And I mean, there were more, but we didn't get their information on time, you know, but we are planning on reprinting this because we sold out of it. This was produced in 2008, and actually she did shop it to a few publishers, and they rejected her proposal because they said it was too regional. And that was kind of our reason for starting, was they were like, hey, well, our stories are important too.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yes, probably it's not going to sell nationwide, but still, here again, it's the history of the people.
And we always say Texas is its own country, so as long as we receive it here, I think that's a huge accomplishment.
We're definitely going to do a second printing of it, and you know, maybe we'll expand on, you know, if there's a few other women who want to participate as well, and maybe we'll move on, you know, to other ideas as well, you know, for featuring other women, because this is just business women, but there's women in education, there's women, you know, in law enforcement.
Yes.
You know, there's the accomplishments of women is like, I just feel like sometimes we just don't get that credit, you know?
The need is there. The need is definitely
there. Because
there.
we definitely do work hard.
Yes, we do.
You know?
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's just a little bit about what we've done. And like I said, I really appreciate your opportunity to come and speak with you all, because we are a small company. You know, we just been around for a few years now. So we do rely on social media to kind of get the word out about who we are and what we do. And
social media is like the new thing, and so we're very happy to have you, and we're so happy to have like connected with you. Thank you for sharing all of the information you did with us. Thank you for bringing us these books. This is amazing. So before we let you go, is there anything else you want to share with our audience? Any other information you want to give?
Okay, well, like I previously mentioned, if anybody has a story idea or is an aspiring illustrator, you can always contact us. You know, go to our website, www.delalmapublications.com. Our contact information is there. Also, if you know of any bilingual education teachers or administrators in a dual language bilingual school, you know, please tell them about us. We were formed specifically to help that, you know, that community with materials. So, you know, just tell everybody about, you know, about our books.
It's amazing. I have a couple friends actually in education, and I'm definitely going to reach out to them to see if this is something that their schools need. Besides the books, do you have any idea on how you want to expand or reach out to more people for the illustrations and all that? Like, what besides the book, the publishing, do you want to expand in any way? Do you want to continue to only work on children's books, or is that your niche?
Well, yes, the children's books for illustrators, primarily it's for the storybooks, the picture books for illustrations. But yes, for the poetry, sometimes we could use different types of art. You know, obviously the children's picture books has one kind of style.
Yes.
You know, but even poetry, you know, obviously this one is a photography, but other poetry books usually have like black and white sketches, you know, have more of a modern vibe to it. So yeah, even that type of art may work with a poetry book as well. So
Awesome.
but yeah, it basically, what we do is we look at, the style of the artist and what that could mesh with ideas that we have as stories. Each of the stories has kind of like a style to it, and we try to marry them together.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for bringing all this information.
Yes.
And before we let you guys go, as always, we have the shameless plug time. And I want to give you the opportunity to shamelessly plug anything you have going on, whether it's with this or any other business you might have. I know you said Del Alma Publications.com is where they can come for the books. Is that the only place they can purchase the books, or is there any?
They're also on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do they find your books? Del Alma Publications, and it'll just come up?
Or you can just Google Bilingual Books.
Bilingual Books. Awesome.
Yes, I will just plug this book. Like I said, wait, this will be coming out very soon. If you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, we'll definitely let you know when this is happening as well. Or, sign up for our newsletter. We have a newsletter as well, and you can, go through our website to get that, and definitely let you know when this book launch is planned, and we have very high hopes for this book.
I did too. I'm excited for that one, just because of all the cute babies in there. So delalmapublications.com, and on Instagram it's Del Alma Publications as well, and on Facebook?
The same, and Twitter we have Del Alma Pubs.
Del Alma Pubs.
LLC.
I like that one.
Yes, we're also on Twitter.
That's the best way to get a hold of them. My shameless plug for today is going to be check out houseofalishRose.com for the blog. For those of you that don't know, I also have a women's lifestyle and fashion blog with one of my best friends. So we have a post coming up, and I do like a little throwback / motivation Monday, and I recap a fun night I had at the Beyonce and Jay-Z concert a few weeks ago. So check that out. It should be going live at some point later today, possibly tonight. And let me know what you think. There's a little video in there. There's some photos. And if you were there, hit us up in the comments. What did you wear? How was it? Most of the night I remember. Towards the end of the night it was a blur, but it was a lot of fun. But thank you again, Maricia, for coming. Send my warmest hugs and regards to your entire family. I'm very proud to say this is, coming out of the Hispanic culture. Our Hispanic roots are definitely very well viewed here, so I'm excited to see what's coming for you next. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the support and everything that you throw our way. We appreciate all your comments, all your warm regards. And I did mention a giveaway earlier today. So as you all know, basketball season is back in session. That's like my thing. I am a basketball girl at heart.
Oh my God, me too.
I love the Houston Rockets. I will always root for the home team. Baseball, Astros. It was an amazing season. Keep your heads up. But basketball is my thing. As far as some of you know, I'm like such a Rockets fan. There will be some upcoming giveaways to where you can score a pair of tickets. It includes a pair of tickets to the game. It's in the lower bowl, very close to the action. Parking passes, and 2 passes to the Platinum Lounge and the, what is it called now? The Golden Nugget Lounge. They changed it. It used to be something else. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming up very, very shortly. I'm trying to collab with another small business to see if we can go half on that. But they'll be coming up shortly, and the only way for you to win them and to get them in your hands is to watch and share these videos. As always, thank you guys so much. A huge shout out to Houston Warehouse Studios for allowing us to use their amazing space today. Thank you again, Maricia.
Yes.
And if you want to get a hold of Maricia, the publication company, don't forget delalmapublications.com. It was great seeing you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.